It was September 19th, 1991, when two hikers crossed a remote ridge in the Ötztal Alps, a rugged frontier of ice and stone straddling the border between Austria and Italy. As they navigated the melting glacial edge, something unusual caught their eyes. A human body, partially exposed, protruded from the ice. At first, they assumed it was a recent victim of the mountains, perhaps a lost climber or a tragic accident. But as rescuers arrived and carefully freed the frozen figure, a shocking truth emerged. This was no modern casualty. The hikers had uncovered the astonishingly preserved remains of a man who had died over 5,000 years earlier. A man older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids of Giza. He would come to be known as Ötzi the Iceman, named after the mountains that guarded him for millennia. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. A man from the Copper Age. Scientific analysis revealed that Ötzi lived around 3300 BCE. He was about 45 years old, 1.60 meters tall, roughly 5'3", and his body bore dozens of tattoos, many of which may have served medicinal purposes, similar to early acupuncture. His stomach contained his final meal, ibex meat, einkorn wheat, and traces of bracken fern, possibly used for wrapping food or treating stomach ailments. DNA analysis placed him within haplogroup K1F, linking his closest modern relatives to populations in Sardinia and the Caucasus. This hints that his people were part of a widespread Neolithic migration that once swept across Europe. His equipment, a time capsule of ancient technology. He wasn't just well-dressed for the mountains, he was a walking museum of Copper Age craftsmanship. He wore leggings of domesticated goat leather, a sheep leather loincloth, a coat woven from goat and sheep hide, a bearskin cap, remarkably advanced shoes, deerskin uppers, bearskin soles stuffed with insulating grass. He carried a prized copper axe, a symbol of status and skill, a flint dagger with a woven sheath, an unfinished longbow taller than his own body, a chamois hide quiver containing 14 arrows, only 2 completed, birch bark containers for transporting embers, flint sharpening tools, medicinal fungi possibly used as antibiotics or fire starters. This was the toolkit of a seasoned hunter, an outdoorsman who knew how to survive in one of the harshest environments in Europe. The Iceman's health. Ötzi suffered from ailments surprisingly familiar today. Lactose intolerance, arthritis in his neck, back, and knee, whipworm parasites, the oldest known case of Lyme disease. His lungs were blackened from years around open hearths. His fingernails showed stress lines from repeated illness or hardship months before his death. But none of these killed him. So what did? The long-standing theory: murder in the mountains. For years, the leading explanation was violent death. A decade after his discovery, advanced radiography revealed a stone arrowhead lodged in his left shoulder. This sparked a sensational narrative. Ötzi was ambushed, shot, and left to die. Skull injuries appeared to support this, depressions and fractures that some believed came from a blow to the head. The story seemed settled, until new technology reopened the case. A new look changes everything. Using advanced CT scans and modern forensic techniques, researchers from the University of Zurich revisited every injury with unprecedented detail, and the results overturned decades of assumptions. The arrow wound. The new scans revealed that the arrowhead didn't penetrate as deeply as once believed. Yes, it ruptured a blood vessel, but not a major artery. The total blood loss was estimated at just 100 milliliters, about half a cup. Painful, debilitating, but not instantly fatal. The head trauma. The skull injuries, once thought to be the result of a violent blow, were now understood as the likely consequence of a fall, consistent with stumbling on steep, uneven alpine terrain. His fur cap could have cushioned the impact, creating fractures, but not death. The real killer, the mountain itself. With the arrow wound and head trauma no longer seen as immediately fatal, researchers reached a chilling but logical conclusion. Ötzi froze to death. Hypothermia, the silent killer of the high Alps, likely claimed his life. Unable to descend or seek shelter, injured, exhausted, possibly disoriented from the fall and the shock, his body temperature would have dropped quickly. Hypothermia brings confusion, weakness, and eventually unconsciousness. A slow, desperate end. He may have had minutes, he may have had hours, but the cold won. The final mystery. This doesn't rule out conflict. The arrow injury proves he was attacked. By whom and why remains unknown. Pollen in his gut and isotopic analysis suggest he moved rapidly across different altitudes before his death, possibly fleeing danger. But the cause of death, according to the latest research, shifts from murder to exposure. In the end, Ötzi survived 53,000 years, not by choice, but because the ice claimed him, protected him, and finally gave him back. Implications of the new discovery. The revelation that Ötzi did not die instantly from a violent attack, but instead endured a slow, agonizing descent into hypothermia, reshapes everything we thought we knew about his final hours. These findings carry several profound implications. 1. His death was far more tragic than the murder theory suggested. For decades, the dominant story was that Ötzi died swiftly in an ambush. The new scans paint a darker picture. A wounded man, injured, disoriented, and alone, struggling against the freezing mountain. Instead of a quick death, he likely faced hours of pain, cold, and confusion, making his end far more haunting. 2. Ötzi was not immediately killed by violence, but violence still played a role. The arrow wasn't instantly fatal. It weakened him, slowed him, and may have forced him into the mountains. This means his death was indirectly caused by an attack, but the true killer was the alpine environment itself. This suggests a complex scenario. He may have been fleeing an enemy. He may have been attacked during a confrontation. Or he may have been ambushed and left disabled. Whatever happened, he was trying to escape. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the frozen past. If you enjoyed this exploration of history, archaeology, and ancient mysteries, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring the past to understand the future.